Hey guys, Mauro here. Let's talk about when life kicks you so hard that you're almost literally on your knees. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that time when you feel like you truly, yeah, you're really going through a hard time. But I mean, like a major crisis with yourself, like a thing that it's really having an impact pretty much in anything you do in life. Okay, I want to talk about what I had to go through and what I got out of it. Okay, so I come from a family of athletes. My dad was a professional tennis player. He played Davis Cup for Mexico. Um, I had two brothers that they played tennis too. They got to play college in the United States, and I got to play professional tennis, and I got to play college tennis as well. Well, there was a time I played professional tennis in Mexico ever since from the age of 16. So I got to travel a lot. I got to go to the nicest hotels in many places. I got to go to the nicest clubs, and I got to go to the horrible hotels too, and horrible places to play clubs and everything. So I got the chance to go, to the best and the lowest. But I mean, I got to leave all that up, and it was my dream. It was my dream to become a professional tennis player. I cannot say that I fulfilled it because I wanted to get higher than I did, but I cannot complain. I did well, relatively well, in playing the tour in Mexico, and I did very well playing college here in the United States. I play for in the NAIA conference, which was a conference or is a conference for small schools. I don't know if it still exists, but college-wise, we did very well. I did very well, and I cannot complain about that. But uh, I mean, I got the chance to be in a very high position, not talking about, not financially, but with my dreams, what I was doing. But I also messed up big time. I made a lot of mistakes and decisions that I when I was younger, and I had to go back to Mexico and stay because my mom got sick back then, and it was hard for me to find a job. I ended up I got some jobs in working. I got some jobs in Mexico, but I ended up working for a cruises company, ships company, traveling around the Caribbean and Mexico and Alaska. And it sounds like a dream job. It was not. It was very difficult. I worked as a utility bar steward, which is pretty much the guy. I mean, from being a professional tennis player and going to really nice places, I found myself, cleaning the bars when the bar was, let's say, when the casino was, or the theater or the ship was closed at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and cleaning the walls and getting on their, the ovens and picking up all the crap and everything. I mean, it was really hard for me to understand how I got to that point. What I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself and say, okay, what have I done? What decisions did I make that were wrong, and I ended up here? That was my lowest ever. I mean, I just felt like I felt terrible. But you know what? After that, I saved money and I got to go back to college. I went to A&M and finish school and finish, with pretty good grades, which is something that I had never done in my life. I had never really had good grades, and I did it. I settled down. I kind of changed my mindset, and I got good grades. They even send a letter to my place. One time my dad called and said, you know what, we got a letter from the school. I mean, which is a letter from Texas all the way to Acapulco. My parents got it, and they called me, say, hey, what is this letter that we got from your school? And I was like, oh my God, what did I do now? I didn't do anything now. I was just thinking, what did I? It wasn't me. So, well, the letter, it was because they wanted to let my parents that actually my grades were among the best grades in the class, in one class or two classes or something like that. So my parents were super proud of me. Of course, I was very proud of myself. I never expected that. So but getting to the lowest, guys, I was working on the ship. I remember very well. There is one night that when I think that my mind kind of finally clicked and say, this is it. It was 1998, December 1998, and I was on the ship. It was New Year's Eve. It was the 31st of December, and while they were celebrating New Year's Eve in some other place on the ship, I was in this bar cleaning because they have already closed. They closed early, so it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was there moping and cleaning the place. And I spent that 31st cleaning that place, moping and doing the inventory of all the bottles and stuff in the bar. And so, and that was my New Year's Eve, cleaning that place alone. I was feeling horrible, thinking of my family. The only good thing I can remember is that they were playing on the radio. They were playing on the ship's radio. They were playing music that I like, Mexican music. So that was the only thing that made me feel a little bit better. But at the same time, they got the nostalgia. It made me feel like, look at me. I mean, this is the night. This is New Year's Eve, and to me it was just that to me was the lowest that I got ever. But at the same time, it was a blessing. It was a really tough job. Really, you work on the ship and you had to work at least 13-14 hours every single day for 9 months. Not one single day off. Not one single day off. And they work your ass off. You gotta go okay. For them, your day off was tomorrow. You're gonna be done cleaning the bar or the casino. You're gonna be done around 6 o'clock in the morning or 5. And you're not gonna work until 7 at night. Oh, but by the way, at 6 or 7 o'clock, you have to wake up. You have to go to the galley and you have to get all the inventory in the trolley for a bar. Bring the trolley, fill it up, and then bring it back, put everything, set it up in the bar, and then you can go back to bed. So in the middle of you sleeping, you had to do that. And that's what it was. Things were horrible. I mean, it was a really nice thing that you can get to travel, and I got to see the Caribbean, and I got to stop by Acapulco to see my parents, and we go to Cabo San Lucas and Mazatlan, and then we go San Francisco, and then we go to Canada and Alaska, beautiful. But it was really hard, and I got to the point that I was exhausted. I was sad. I was depressed. I was so tired. I mentally and physically was so tired. At one time, I woke up and I was late to work. I had to be at the swimming pool bar at, I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So I just got up and you got dressed, and then I'm on my way walking to the swimming pool, and my feet were hurting me, but killing me. And I was like, what is wrong? And when I looked down, I was wearing the shoes the wrong way. I had my left foot shoe in the right foot, and I had my right foot shoe in the left. I mean, that's how completely lost I was, completely tired, and I mean, if there is a feeling, if there is something that feeling as a cockroach, like you have no value, I guess that was it. That was to me it. So I had to turn around. I was at the lowest. I was at the very bottom of the well. I couldn't go any lower than that. And that's what made me change. That's what, when I say I gotta change my my mindset, everything. And that's the thing that I got out of it. I became a different person. Another thing is, after working at that place like that, so hard for so long, I say, I won't find any other job ever. I mean, I'm not going to apply for anything like being a miner or something like that, you know? But I say, anything that I do after this, I know I can face it. When I applied back then, all the people that apply to those jobs, they have more than 95% of people that within the first 3 or 4 weeks, they will quit because they couldn't handle it. They always say, okay, Friday in Puerto Rico, new people, let's see how many of these guys, let's see who stays. No, not how many of these guys can handle the job. No, let's see how many of these stay. The 2 or 3 usually. Because, and you see hundreds of people that, some of them in 2 or 3 days, they were gone. And I said, you know what? I needed that money, and I needed, and I needed, and that low. I needed to be that low in order to say that's it. So I had to change my mindset. I did change it. That to me was one of the, that was one of the 2 turning points in my life. The second one was my divorce after that, but that's another story. Yeah, and that's what helped me. I said, you know what? I will never. I'm not gonna. I know that if I could handle this, there is no job that I will not able to find to handle. Anything else will be a piece of cake compared to this, physically and mentally. And that was one of the good things I got out of pretty much literally walking through hell, because that job, it's amazing. You say, oh my God, you work on a cruise ship? That is amazing. You say, dude, that is totally the opposite. That's like literally like walking through hell when other people think that you're in heaven. Imagine how is that? You literally feel like you're walking through hell because you're also surrounded. It's a very heavy environment with a lot of people doing drugs, and I mean, it's just it was really, really bad. But I say, you know what? The lowest in my life was a tool to become the strongest I ever been. I don't think I will be who I am, and I don't think I will have the mentality that I have now if I would have never gone through that. That was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call saying, everything you complain about is, I mean, it's nothing for a lot of people around the world. There were people that, you know, a lot of Filipinos that say, you know what, this, if I don't work here, I go back to the Philippines, I have no job. I will have to sell drugs. Literally, I will have to become a criminal. And that was the same story in many other places. So, just so you know, many times we have to go, when you go through the difficult parts of life, you have to keep your eyes open, because that's many times it's gonna be that your blessing in disguise. That is gonna be a blessing. That is gonna be the catalyst of a change in you. Okay, I hope it helps, guys. Just wanted to let you know about this experience. Okay, give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.